You know, Phoenix. Okay, people, today let's take a look at the second half of the Hasbro Marvel Legends Secret Wars wave with Spider-Man, Captain America, and Titania. I told you I'd come back and do the second half, didn't I? For some reason, Captain America was the holdout. He was the last one I got. So now that I'm doing this whole half wave format, I guess I could have done the first 3 weeks ago because I've been sitting on those, waiting for Captain America. Now that I have these, we're going to do the other half. I haven't watched anybody else's reviews of these yet. I didn't realize how big Titania was. Okay, let's get into them. The packages are those throwback Secret Wars card backs with the logo up top and then the clamshell on front, showing you the figure, showing you the accessories, showing you the goodies. Warning, choking hazard, small parts. I know it's tempting. Don't do it. On the back, some nice artwork along with a bio for each character, so I'm just going to keep rambling in case you want to pause this and read and find out about who these people are. Under that's pictures of the rest of the wave. Amazon likes to slap a sticker right there on the card back. Like we talked about with the first half, very detailed instructions for the included lenticular shield. Open shield, insert lenticular, close shield. Battle. So let's start cracking these open, starting with Captain America. Oh no. Okay, in the first half of this Secret Wars wave review, I said something like, I originally was only in for the unique characters, which would be Beyonder and Titania. I was going to skip on Iron Man, Spider-Man, and Captain America. Not Wolverine, though, because I gotta have all the Wolverines, but apparently I gotta have all the Captain Americas, too, and the Iron Mans, and the Spider-Mans. Because really, I have the Marvel Legends 80th Anniversary Captain America. Same sculpt, just in a lot darker colors, and kind of old school face painting. Look at those eyes. That normally hangs out in a bin because I prefer the Marvel Legends 20th Anniversary Captain America. The colors were brighter and way better face paints. But then I realized the new Secret Wars Captain America is even brighter for a classic look. The other big reason was this head sculpt. Smiling Steve. Happy, hopeful Captain America out there doing his thing. Now don't get me wrong, I wish it came with the 20th Anniversary serious head. Because, well, we're going to look at it in a minute. There's also the angry head. 3 would have been awesome. Unfortunately, you can't just swap because of the different blues. I love both of them. I really, really do. I feel like one's going to be Avengers and the other's going to be a Captain America shelf or vice versa, something. Now, if you remember, the 20th Anniversary had some cell shading to it. Here on the red of the stripes, and then under the scales on the blue. Secret Wars doesn't have that. It's just cleaner overall, and now that I look at it closer, I realize that the alternating red and whites are different. They're opposite. Bringing 80th back in, it had the red center stripe. So Secret Wars has the white center stripe. I don't know the significance of that. I was about to say something like, otherwise, it's the exact same sculpt, just in different colors, but then I started looking closer and there are some changes. The biggest noticeable thing is the limbs going pinless, and apparently that means larger elbows and larger knees. Look at the difference in size between the new Secret Wars and the 20th Anniversary. Same thing with the elbows. That also means they had to tweak the parts above and below the joints, and the basic shape is still there, the biceps, the scales hanging down, but then the openings for those joints have been made longer for more travel. Well, I say that, the knees are actually shorter, but you can see a difference in the width of the joints. I also almost missed that the upper hip pieces on Secret Wars has wrinkles, but the 20th Anniversary doesn't. It's also a different crotch piece because of the wrinkles on the butt crack. But then I picked the 80th Anniversary back up, and there's those wrinkles along with the upper leg wrinkles. Which, hell, I'm not sure I caught those differences when I reviewed this while comparing to this, but now that I have all 3 together, the Secret Wars is kind of a mix of both with tweaks, which is okay because it is just so Captain America-like, the shape, the silhouette. Have the sculpted star, the sculpted scales. Perfect glove and boot cuffs. Inexplicable belt holding up tights. It's not like these are gonna fall down, but they paint the buckle silver and then the belt loops going around. Like I mentioned, the red and white stripes, and here they are very crisp, on top of the white being very bright white. Sculpted star on the back with a hole. Like some of the older sculpts that they keep reusing, it needs butterfly joints. But otherwise, I don't have any complaints here. I bought it simply because it was a different color scheme. And the head. Don't forget about the head. The eyes are nicely digitally painted in. There's the smile, there's the A, there's the head wings that I do notice are off. And the thing about it is, if you look at one, the way this one swoops up and kind of straight back, that looks great. Then if you cover that one and look at this one kind of going a little down and out, that looks great by itself, but you put both of them together and they're wonky, they're uneven. Do I heat up this one and try to flatten it out and bring it up a little? Or do I heat this one and try to bring it out? Let's just give it a shot of the heat gun and see if something happens by itself. But not too long, because remember, small, soft plastic pieces get really, really hot really, really fast. And doing that and kind of fluffing them, I guess, they seem to be kind of straightening out. Caress them a little, coax them into position. And have I ever realized that the scale mail is actually a rubbery overlay? You can kind of raise it up and down off the torso, and it's... Going over articulation, there is a ball joint up at the top with a hinge underneath. With that, you can look up, you can look down. Little bit of tilt. Bucky. Peggy. Pin coming out to the shoulder rotates around with a hinge and a bicep swivel. Double elbow has a glove cuff that runs into the bicep. Swivel at the wrist with a hinge in and out. Hinge at the mid-torso, nicely hidden by the stripes. Crunches forward, arcs back, gets really far open. Swivel at the waist, hidden by the belt if you push it up over it. Ball at the hip, kicks forward, past 90, kicks back, not too much, out. Better than some Spider-Mans. Swivel at the thigh. Double knee, kicks up, and if you push, freedom! Swivel at the boot. Hinge at the ankle, goes all the way back, forward, front-facing pin for rocker. For accessories, like I mentioned, there is this angry head, but I will probably never use it. Cap loses his temper every now and then, but I just don't think of him like this. I think of him either as stoic or, you know, just talking with friends. I will point out that the head wings on this one is crazy out of whack too. Oh man, that line is rough right there, and it's not paint missing, it's actually extra glopped up flesh paint. There's a little down here too that is just poking out. But I can confirm that they're not all like that. This may be a case of the good old Robo luck, because I ended up with a second Captain America, and that one is fairly clean. Comes with a set of fists. We do this all day. 2 grip hands, and then a pointer left and a salute right. Then we get to the shield, and I will admit that this is neat. It's new, it's unique. But I don't like it as the only option. It does come with these 2 other pieces that are kind of tiny. As you saw when I was opening the package, it just kind of almost became carpet monster fodder, but it doesn't connect anywhere, which it shouldn't. It's a broken shield. It's missing pieces. So if you're using this in a picture, then these are just laying on the ground, and it's just kind of there. I wish there was an intact shield, nice and clean, in these colors, this size. That seems to be a trend though. With the 80th anniversary Captain America, I'm using the old Toy Biz face-off cap with the rubber straps because it's a bigger shield. And then the 20th anniversary came with a shield with holes in it for effects like bullets or electricity. This shield came from, was it Ultimate Captain America or some odd offshoot Captain America? So I may have to find another one for this Captain America. I have thought about taking Bucky caps, but it seems kind of modernish, you know, with the shine. I want a dull one, maybe a flatter one. And then like we looked at with the first half of the wave, the lenticular shield, which is a callback to the original toys. There's Cap, there's Steve. There's Cap, Steve, Cap, Steve, Cap, Steve. And that does open up if you want to swap it out with the Secret Wars logo. But like I said the first go around, why would I swap this out? These are just neat. Next up, since we've had a couple of Peter Parkers over the years, let's crack open Spider-Man. Good grief, do I love a good black and white Spider-Man. It has just a hint of sinister, but oh so striking. The reason I changed my mind about this Spider-Man is because it uses the Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man body. That means it has the updated dumbbell joint mid-torso and the, I was gonna say waist crunch, but that would still be an ab crunch, right? The abs are on the part that crunches down. It's just down real low. Have the pinless arms, the pinless legs. But more than that, it's smaller and sleeker than the retro-carded black and white suit. That has the same torso articulation, but it's much more muscular. Deeper striations. Retro card feels like an older Peter Parker. This one feels younger, you know, when he first got the black and white suit during Secret Wars. So it was a chance to get yet another black and white suit. I will say, not being an expert in all things Spider-Man when it comes to the different suits, this does have triangles on the back of the hands, while the retro card has rectangles. Is this the, just straight suit like cloth, while this is the symbiote? Is that the difference? It's also a new head sculpt, and it's not the older black and white suit on the much more outdated body, because those eyes are way bigger. I think I missed one of these, maybe an animated series version, or was there an exclusive? What matters is that because of these two, while I like this one, I wanted this size, this shape, with this design. Because like I said, it's so good. Beyond that, there's not a lot to talk about here. It's a black base body with a white spider painted on. On the front, they did manage to miss the butterfly joint, so it doesn't break up here, but you get around to the back, and they did have to go through that since it has more cut into the body. For the most part, it's pretty clean. I do have a scratch or some black showing through right there, but the lines are crispy, and it comes around. I do notice that this white down here is a slightly different shade than the white used up here, and it may only be because of my bright lights. If I get away from that or something, it's not so noticeable. In fact, I didn't notice until I got in here and was like, okay, what is this right here? And then it's the same for the eyes. Pretty solid white paint job and follow inside the sculpt. So, hey, can't complain about that. Oh, I nearly forgot. Again, triangles on the back of the hands. So, no, I'll have to do some research after this. Articulation-wise, there is a ball at the top of the neck with a hinge, which I really like because it's Spider-Man, so I want him to look up and look down. Not near as much tilt as a dumbbell joint, but a little bit. What do you mean I'm wearing an alien? Butterfly joint goes forward, goes back, pin out to the shoulder, allows rotation all the way around with a hinge that goes up to... Boy, that's stiff as all hell. Is that as far as it goes? Oh, no, it's catching on that ledge. As I raise it up, it's hitting right there. Get around all that and rotate it in. It does go up past 90, but it snags inside all that. But at the same time, it's not all gapped up either. Take that as you will. Bicep swivel. Double elbow comes up all the way. Swivel at the wrist with a hinge in and out. Dumbbell joint mid-torso, crunch down low. So up top gets about that far, and then back, and some tilt, and some tilt, and some rotation. Then with that, you can crunch down to here, arc back that far. Ball coming out to the hip, kicks up past 90, good for Spider-Man. Goes back a little, and then out. Not too shabby. Swivel at the thigh. Double knee. Oh yeah, thwip. Swivel at the boot. Ankles were super tight out of the package. Goes back that far, goes forward, and then front-facing pin for rocker. For accessories out of the package, there's 2 fists. There are 2 thwips with the triangles, and then 2 splayed-out wall-crawling hands, again with the pizza shapes. Like I said last week, all the hands any self-respecting Spider-Man action figure should come with, if not more. I love me the wall-crawling hands, so those are gonna go in there. There's also this alternate smaller-eyed head, and oh wait, now that I look at that, okay, it's not Scarlet Spider, way smaller. Very similar to Spider Shot though. It has the same shaped eyes, but it's a smaller head, barely. And then the distance from the nose to the chin is longer on the symbiote face. So close, but no. I'm not sure what this is a reference to. It seems like a more modern take on the symbiote costume or something. I really, really like it, but I have no attachment to it. This one is going to be displayed like this. And even that seems a little bit more modern than what we saw with Secret Wars. In fact, that's kind of McFarlane-esque, isn't it? What it comes down to is it's a kick-ass black and white Spider-Man, and that's all I care about. And then, of course, the lenticular shield. You have Spider-Man, you have Peter. And then again, if you wanna, there's the logo piece to put in there, but nope. And then finally, because she's new, she's unique, we're gonna open Titania. Like I've mentioned several times, the Beyonder and Titania were always on my list because I don't have a Beyonder or Titania until now. And this makes me super happy. Well, okay, I will probably change something. Right off the bat, the best thing about this figure is that it is larger than your standard Marvel Legends female figure by quite a bit. She's shoulder to shoulder with Power Princess, but then her head and hair puts her a little taller, but not quite She-Hulk sized. In fact, Jennifer has her beat by quite a bit. They could still go toe to toe. That's how it works. Then you get up close on the details, like the spikes running down the arm and then down the lower leg. Oh, that is very nice to see. I love that they put them on Titania. It gives me a little hope for the future. Maybe some characters to finish out some other teams. Can we get the rest of Excalibur, please? Have some toe wrinkles, and then it goes pretty plain. Well, okay, except for the spikes. And again, I love those. But then you get above the knee, and things change up a bit. We have this flared boot, which I wish we would get every time there's a thigh-high boot of some kind. It doesn't matter if it's up here, down here, anywhere. Right out of the package, I thought, wait, no thigh swivel. That's weird. Until I realized, of course, in order to have this molded in purple and this molded in flesh, there would be a cut there. So the thigh swivel is actually down low above the knee and completely hidden from view whenever you're looking at it from the front. Also have the belt sculpted on and a nice gold color painted. Plain arms, again, under those spikes, which adds so much to it. Then we get to the chest, and the separation between flesh and dark purple and light purple and dark purple, that's sculpted on. That is costume. So I gotta think the original intent here was to have flesh all the way down to the belt, like it should be, to be accurate to the comics, to her costume. So this light purple was added to eliminate cleavage. Even though the sculpt's still there, it's still chest. That may be a Playday thing. Come back and repaint it. And it's not because, ooh, flesh, I gotta see skin. It's more accuracy. The gold belt does go all the way around, though. I will point that out. Then there's the head. Look at that angry face. More purple for the mask. Not this light purple. This dark purple goes up here. Kind of wish there was a wash to the orangey red hair to bring out even more of that detail. That may be another thing I do. But I like that they sculpted it in a way where it can still allow for head movement. That does make it look like it floats a little bit, but you can also call that action stance. Like she's swinging or running or floating around. Floating around? Probably not, but jumping around maybe? While still looking okay in neutral position. Overall, it's just a big, powerful, buff body. Going over articulation, there is a dumbbell joint at the top of the neck. Hair gets in the way of up, but can look down. Not bad tilt at all. I think best of these three I'm doing. To the left, to the right. Pin coming out to the shoulder, rotates around. Hinge goes up to there. The spike stops it from going any further. Bicep swivel. Double elbow. Oh, all the way up. Swivel at the wrist with a hinge in and out. Dumbbell mid-torso does a little crunching. Some arc back, tilt, tilt, rotation. Ball at the hip kicks up. Goes back, not too far out. Swivel at the lower thigh. Double knee comes up to about right there. That's a big top of boot. Hinge at the ankle, goes back, goes forward, front-facing pin for rocker. For accessories, there are 2 fists, and then there are 2 open, reaching chokehold hands. That's for choke slamming. For the lenticular, you have her masked and unmasked. Mask? No mask. Mask? No mask. And then, yeah, there's this too. Swap it out. It's square because villain. Size-wise, Captain America stands at about 6.5 inches. Titania is up to 6 7/8, and then Spider-Man is about 6 1/8. And since Titania's a new body, I thought I'd do a proper side-by-side. Here is your standard Marvel Legends female. Here is Power Princess, and then here's She-Hulk. And then here's the whole wave side-by-side. You have your shorter characters, you have your taller characters, you have your new characters that are a mix between standard size and larger size. So at the end of the day, I like the whole wave, and ain't nothing wrong with that. I think we still need a Captain America that comes with a good shield, or have an accessory pack for Captain America that comes with a few good shields. Otherwise, this is a fantastic Captain America body. Same goes for Spider-Man if you like your Peter Parker leaner and meaner. It's smaller, it's sleeker, it's the symbiote costume. Again, it is just great. And then Titania, she's big, she's burly, she's bulky. I couldn't ask for anything more when it comes to this character. The good thing about this wave is that it gives us a couple of unique characters, but it also gives us slightly tweaked versions of the big names. And like I always say, We should always have access to the A-listers. There will be complaints. Oh, another Captain America, another Spider-Man, another Iron Man, another Wolverine. But they sell. And every time there's people that like, well, I missed out on this version, or I wasn't collecting when this version came out, or yeah, this is mine. And that's what matters. If you don't need them, pass on by, grab what you do need, and then come back around in the next wave with stuff that you need and don't need. These make me happy until the next iterations. That's toy collecting. I've been doing this 30 years. That's how it goes. There's always something bigger and better down the road. Until there's not. And when there's not, I'll find something else to do. But that's me. Bye.